Hello again from my front porch. Well, you can tell that I'm starting to get really comfortable with this whole working from home thing. You know, I didn't shave today. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I hardly have any sweatshirts, but I'm wearing this one today. Just again getting comfortable with the being at home and working at home thing. Normally, I wouldn't dress this way to go to work, but you know that has a whole different connotation now. So anyway, here we are as this fun experience continues. I can't think of a time when the phrase "we're all in this together" really has applied more, at least not in my lifetime. You could say 9/11 or something like that, but 9/11 was big and dramatic and it affected the nation, but it mainly affected where events happened, and then the rest of us felt the cascading impacts of those things. But it didn't affect us personally if we weren't in New York or at the Pentagon or in Pennsylvania, and so I don't know that really even qualifies. I think you have to go all the way back to like World War II. And the Depression before that, and all that kind of stuff. Those are things that truly affected everybody. But now there's no disputing. We are all in this together, and we will determine how successful we are together. Because I'm not a big fan of all the lockdown things. It saddens me. I mean, let me say, before you jump to conclusion, I'm of two minds on this, and I think I think how I feel is honestly reflective of how a lot of people feel about all of this. On one hand, I'm saddened by all the business closures, and I'm saddened by all the event cancellations, and I'm saddened by all the major changes that people have had to go through in terms of what they've lost, what they're not able to do that they had planned to be doing, that not only individuals doing things they would have enjoyed, but also businesses, employers receiving money for things that they assumed would be happening, as they do every year, and then they're paying their employees, who then took that money and went out into the economy and spent, and all this kind of thing. This whole ripple effect, the dominoes, they're all going in the wrong direction right now. And I don't like that. I wish that wasn't the case. Now, that's a one mind. The other mind is, I understand why we're doing these things, because as I understand, I'm not a medical doctor, but as I understand it, the contracting and passing on this coronavirus is maybe a bit more contagious, a bit more aggressive than the standard flu, that we hear about a lot. The interesting thing is that the ways to avoid getting coronavirus are pretty similar to the way you avoid getting the flu. So it's easy to see why people, would say, it's just a nasty flu. Well, I mean, technically, yeah, that's what it is. Apparently a really nasty flu. But, and that's the problem. When I say we're all in this together, we are, but there are people who even if they are of two minds, they gravitate too much to one or the other. The one over here is, I want maximum level of safety, and I don't care what damage it causes, because in my mind I'm thinking, the government will take care of us. I don't know that I agree with that. Then there is the other mindset over here that says, they're all just blown out of proportion. There's nothing to this. Just, do whatever. It's like those people those young people down in Florida that went to their spring breaks and are like, I don't care. I've been planning this party for 3 months, and if I get coronavirus, I get coronavirus. Well, guess what? A bunch of them did now. So neither of those ideas, neither of those extremes, or just are what I think is reality. I think reality is that being of two minds, being in the middle of wishing this, acknowledging this, and doing everything we can here to get us back to here. That's That's how we're all in this together. The problem is we have a lot of people who they're in it they don't see we're in this together. They see I'm in it for me. I have to look out for me, and that's an outcome of our society. We've been training people in that for decades now. We've been training people that nobody matters but you. Put yourself first. You are numero uno. Don't worry what anyone else thinks. You just do what you want to do, and there's truth in those things. But again, as with these concepts now, we've pushed it to the extreme, and we allow people to justify in their own minds that all I need to worry about is me. And if you suffer, well, then you should have been looking out for you too. And that's I don't like that. I don't like that idea at all. And another place that I see that, and before this coronavirus stuff came up, this was already something that I bugged me, and I'm pretty sure I've complained about it on a previous episode. But this notion of an us-them battle between employers and employees. That there's now this, and I blame the political parties. And I'm not going to go into my political analysis of this, because actually the political analysis would be a bit one-sided. I will admit that from my observation of these things. But I blame the political parties that they have generated and fueled this as a means of their power tug of war and put all of us in the middle as pawns. But way too many have bought into it, have drank the Kool-Aid of this discussion, that corporations, the business owners, the bosses, they're evil. They are evil. And if you give them a dime, they'll just hoard that to themselves, and they'll just be misers. And now, are there some that would do that? I suppose there probably are, yeah. But then there's the other end, that the workers, the employees. Well, they're the underdogs, and they're the beaten down ones, and nobody gives them any respect. And that's not true either. That neither of those perceptions is reality. Now, are there employers who are bad? Yes. But are there workers who are bad? Yes. Are there employers who are greedy? Yes. Are there workers who are greedy? Yes. Are there employers who take advantage of people? Yes. Are there workers who take advantage of people? Yes. Does that mean one is better than the other? No. Does that mean one is worse than the other? No. But you know what is true? They need each other. You can't have a business without workers. You can't have employees getting paychecks without the business they're employed by that pays them the paychecks. The two groups need each other. They are not independent of one another. You can't say, well, we're helping this group and ignore that group. Or we're going to help this group and ignore that group. It just doesn't work that way. You have to recognize both. And we're seeing that right now on a political scale with this whole coronavirus aid package and stimulus thing. That's where the drag has been, because the two political parties are jockeying over wanting to look like they're looking out for the best interests of the employers or the workers. And I'm just sitting there going, why is this even a choice? Why do we keep reinforcing this narrative that you have to choose one side or the other? Why can we not just recognize helping both is what needs to be done? Because we're all in this together. And the individual people, the workers, they might need some pocket money right now because they're not at work. But by the same token, when this is all done, the company still needs to be strong so that there is a job for them to go back to when the dust settles. So again, they need each other. So, it's like, come on, people, come on. We can do this. We really can. And, I alluded to World War II. Now, I wasn't around World War II, but from, again, studying history, I know that while there was a lot of inconvenience, there was a lot of people put out, it hurt. There was some pain that people felt. Still, the nation did come together. The nation came together to support one another and to do what was right, to help one another out, to help the war effort, to support the troops overseas, etc., etc., etc. And in a way, that's what we need now. We're being asked to withdraw, to socially distance ourselves from one another. Okay, that's not easy for some of us extroverts like myself, but it's what you got to do. Why do we got to do that? Well, because I don't want to be responsible for somebody else getting it, because I was carrying it, maybe even unaware that I was carrying it, and I passed it on to others, and then they got very sick, maybe even fatally sick. I don't want to have that on my conscience. Do you? No, of course, none of us do. And so that's why, even though I wish it was like it used to be, I'm doing my best to respect what we're being told it needs to be, because I wanted to go back to what it used to be as quickly as possible. And I know that by following these rules, which I don't like, will mean if we all do that, we will be able to get back to this quicker. So if you want to get back to this, do this. Do what they're asking us to do. Follow the rules. Don't think you are somehow immune. Don't think you're able to do whatever. Don't be like the idiots going on spring break down in Florida. Use your head and be conscious of this. It's not just about you. It's about all of us, because we are all in this together. And with that, I'll see y'all next time from my front porch.